Hello and welcome to a very special program on NDTV 24/7. I'm Vishnu Shoman. I'm on top of an Arjun Mk-1 Alpha main battle tank. Many of these tanks, more than 118 to be precise, will be inducted into the Indian Army in the years ahead. This tank is, simply put, the future of Indian tank warfare. It incorporates several systems which make it a generation more advanced than the old Arjun tank, which has been in service with the Indian Army for several years. What we are going to be doing on this special program is checking out the Arjun tank. We're going to be speaking to the director of the CVRD, where this has been designed and developed, and we'll also be speaking to project engineers and project managers about various facets of this technology. This is Atmanirbhar Bharat at its best, but the indigenization level will need to go up, and that is expected in the years ahead. I'm on top of an Arjun Mk-1A tank. This is very much the future of Indian tank warfare. The government is likely to commit to 118 of these tanks. It's a modification in a big way of the existing Arjun tank. It features many systems and subsystems which make it qualitatively better than what we've had in the past. Joining us now, the director of the CVRD. Thanks, sir, very much for being with us. What makes this tank different and better?
Yeah, actually Arjun MBT Mk-1 Alpha has got 14 major improvements over the existing Arjun MBT. And then all the 14 improvements contribute to the enhancement of the firepower, mobility and protection of the tank. The tank is a superior weapon system of the Indian Army, and I will also call that a superior weapon system and equal or better than any contemporary tanks in the world.
This must be a very proud moment for you that so many of these tanks are going to be coming in.
Right. Actually, the Prime Minister handing over the tank Arjun MBT Mk-1 Alpha last 14th of February is a historic moment of DRDO, in particular CVRDE, and it's a gold letter day for us. And we are in the verge of getting the Arjun MBT 2 regiments Indian shortly. It is definitely a gold moment, and it's a proud moment of DRDO and CVRDE. Within CVRD, minimum around 500 scientists, staffs are working. Out of that, minimum 30% are women. And the contribution of men and women are great in this program. And you are aware that since 2010, the moment specifications are given to us for upgrades. We have been working last 10 years to get the fruition, and now it's a reality.
What are some of the biggest changes in this tank which make it better than the Arjun already in service?
See, actually, I will name few improvements which will make it better for the time angle. We have the Commander's Panoramic Sight Mark II. Mark 1 we have only day surveillance, whereas in Arjun MBT Mk-1 Alpha we have a day and night surveillance. That means commander sitting in his position can see 360 degree around the tank by the system. And in case any enemy threats are coming in other direction, by press of a button, the entire turret person rotates there and he will be able to engage and destroy the tank. This is called underkill capability.
And I think one of the best features of this is that it's been massively tested. This is what you've described is not technology being developed, it's actually technology in place and tested. Tell us a little bit about how difficult those tests were.
Actually, we are as the many systems improvements has to be system engineered and made to function as a one unified system and deliver the required performance. And that is the core strength of CVRD. Source, develop, integrate, do a system engineering, do a thorough test and evaluation before offering to user trials. That has been done. 2010 specification has been given to us. 2012 we have given one prototype to user trials, and the user has extensively validated the tank up to 2015. 6,000 kilometers has been run and many rounds have been fired. And subsequently final validation trials in December 2018, again 1,400 kilometers has been run, and now the tank has been cleared for induction. And the process of induction is on the way.
Right. One of the very interesting systems is the laser warning receiver, and you can automatically fire off grenades and things like that, smoke grenades. How does that work?
The laser warning and countermeasure system. The warner system, there are 4 sensors mounted on the tank. It covers the 360 degree with overlap. So basically, an enemy tank aims to destroy us. Either he fires a laser range finder to know our distance, or any missiles is firing with laser guided missile, he has to fire a laser guided beam rider laser or laser target designator, laser beam will fall. So the system will sense and which type of warning is coming, either LRF or beam rider or laser target designator type, which direction it is coming from, and accordingly there is a system, rotary grenade launcher, which will automatically rotate in that direction, fire a set of grenades. They call salvo. 4 grenades will be fired. A smooth screen will be formed in the direction so that enemy cannot see further.
Let's talk about the gun, the highlight of a tank. I mean, it's an Indian gun. It's a rifle gun, and it's extremely accurate. And what makes it more accurate now are some of the sensors, for example, automatic target tracking. So could you tell us about how that works, the basic quality of the gun and the sensors you now have to make accurate targeting?
We have developed a indigenously developed 120mm rifle gun. It's developed by AID, our partner lab in DRDO at Pune, and this system has been used for Mark 1, Mark 1 Alpha. Okay, the tank is capable of firing in 3 modes: static tank to static tank to moving tank to moving tank, and these 3 modes are possible. When you talk about the moving to moving or moving to static, the ATT is very much essential, because without that, the gunner has to lay the thing and fire, manually has to track and fire. The ATT is locking. Once you put the target, just put a press button, gets locked. Target is automatically tracked by using image processing technology, and he just has to press a button to kill it.
The other very interesting aspect is the armor. Now that's already been proven that it's Indian, it's Kanchan, and now you've added to that armor with explosive reactive armor as well. So tell us a little bit about the armor on board, the safety of the tank, people inside.
Actually, there are 2 armors. One is Kanchan armor, which is part of Mark 1, and the Kanchan armor presently on Mark 1 Alpha has been designed to give more protection with the same weight class. That is one. Second, we have added the explosive reactive armor on the tank, both hull and turret side, with the frontal coverage. And with this explosive reactive armor in place, any CE related, that is chemical energy related, like missiles or heat, such kind of weapons can be defeated easily.
In the future, you will have a missile on this tank being fired from the gun. That's part of the development plan, right?
Actually, as part of Arjun Mk-1A Mark 2, we have ventured into development of laser target designator and laser guided missile. And laser target designator is now available CVID, fully proven during user trials. Only the missiles we want to develop instead of import, and we want to indigenously develop it. The efforts are on, and will be maturing shortly, maybe another 1 or 2 years. And it's like any other ammunition. The hardware to guide the missile is available. Only you have to put the missile and fire and do that. Yeah. So it is easily retrofittable in case the user wants.
Right. So just 1 or 2 more questions. When will the Arjun Mk-1 start being inducted in serious numbers?
Actually, we are expecting users to give order shortly, this year itself. And the moment it is ordered, it will take around 30 to 30 months to develop, produce and issue the first 5 tanks. So that will happen in another 3 years. Let us say 2.5 to 3 years it will happen.
Yeah.
So I am expecting user to place intent this year. That means 2021. Yeah. So by 2024 or 23 end, you will have the first batch of 5 tanks in place.
Yeah. And one last question, and I think this is the most important aspect of a tank: reliability. And that gives you confidence as the team leader as well, that the product you have is reliable. In the development of the tank and its subsystems, how do you prioritize reliability?
Actually, now a lot of modern tools are available where we can do the lot of analysis before cutting the metal. We have an excellent computer-aided analysis division. Like for example, suspension running a system. The entire concept, we have to redesign the system compared to Mark 1 totally because of weight increase. Now everything has been modeled 3D It has been evaluated, FEM analysis or computer fluid dynamic analysis, lot of analysis been done before starting the production. The analysis gives the first cut confidence, then make it, and then put on the tank. And to your just information, the suspension system developed like this. First phase of trials, it covered around 1,200 kilometers, and user declared on the spot it is successful. So that is the confidence of translating design, development, analysis, and hardware transformation.
Right.
Similarly, all systems have been developed like that.
Right.
And the very fact that this tank, what you are traveling now, has covered 7,500 kilometers, still we are confident of giving to TV crew. That shows our confidence.
It does. It does indeed. Oh, well, there you have it, the director of the CVRD telling us a little bit, actually not a little bit, a lot about this tank. And it is very much a part of the Atmanirbhar movement as far as defense production is concerned. In the years ahead, the amount of the tank which will be built in India through indigenous systems will only be stepped up. But for the moment, in terms of an addition of firepower for the Indian Army, this is going to be absolutely huge. Well, it is a red letter day for the CVRD. In fact, it's just a coincidence that we happen to be here on a day in which the government has cleared the acceptance of necessity to acquire 118 of these tanks. Joining us now, Mr. Balaguru, he's the Associate Director over here. Thanks very much for being with us. You've been involved in a lot of the design aspects of this particular tank. What does this day mean for you when a lot of those design aspects will be put to the ultimate test? They will serve the Army in this variant.
We are on top of world really, because our struggle of last 10 years has come to an end. On a happy note, I would say, to say this entire project we started in the year 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike in the past, we delivered this tank in 2 years' time, and the trial, extensive trials happening between 2012 and 2015. And again, if you see, then 2018 onwards started picking up momentum. Then we redefined certain features, like missile firing was delinked and it was rechristened as Arjun Mk-1 Alpha. And since then we had done the integrated trials.
So you told me something very interesting. You were part of the tank trials.
Yes.
So you were there in the 50-degree temperature of the Rajasthan desert day in and day out. And so this is like your friend, this tank.
Yes, yes. We have been living with this last 10 years. In fact,
this particular one, right?
Yes, this tank. And even the previous version, Arjun Mk-1 also, last 30 years we have been with that. And last 10 years we have been living with this tank. The first time, as an evaluation of this Mk-1, users have requested for 14 major upgrades. All of them are user-driven, and all of them are major upgrades, which will substantially improve its firepower, mobility and protection. And about 57 small like incremental improvements, which will add again all the three parameters like firepower, protection, mobility. In addition, it also improves the crew comfort.
Not many tank prototypes anywhere in the world would be driven and tested for 7,400 kilometers.
Yes, very much. And this tank, as I said earlier, this is the only one prototype, and that was the confidence level we had in our quality and in our design. And no standby tank was fielded for this trial, these rigorous trials. Yeah. This is the only tank. This has crossed all its trial. It was conducted in 5 phases, like trench crossing, step climbing, medium fording, the different dual terrains of Rajasthan, and which even, in fact, users would have liked it most. That was the stringent with which it was tried out.
Good speaking to you, sir. There you have it, an idea of the trial process. What made that so very difficult? All of these engineers and scientists and project managers have implicit trust in this tank. That's something that really stands out as you talk to them. The key ability, of course, of any main battle tank is its ability to fire, to engage targets, and the fire control system is a key aspect of the electronics of any tank, any modern tank, which enables that to happen. Mr. Raju actually helped design and develop the fire control system of the Arjun Mk-1A. What is it that this tank features in its fire control system which is different and better from what we've had in the past?
Yeah. This is having a new commander's panoramic sight which can see 360 degrees for doing surveillance, and it can see day and night, and it's also stabilized in the dynamic conditions. That way you can always do surveillance and you can engage, or you can hand over the new target to the gunner. That way the firing ability is improved. A commander can fire and he can give an accurate gun to the gunner also.
Right.
That's a good thing.
And in simple terms, for a lot of people who may not understand, when you have a really advanced thermal sight, How does that enable you to operate by day or by night?
Yeah, this is having a, actually it's called MWR. This is for a particular bandwidth. This one, and it can see in the day and night also, up to a range of 3 to 4 kilometers. We can see and engage the targets.
Right.
Even the dynamic conditions, accurately we can hit the targets.
Yeah. And is the machine gun, which is remotely controlled, part of the fire control system?
Yeah, it's actually the main gun looks for the other big targets, and this is for the aerial targets. This one.
And how does and who actually picks the targets? Is it the commander or the gunner or both?
Actually, for the main target, it's for the gunner and commander, and for the remote control, this one we use the loader takes that. This one is responsible for this.
Yeah. One final question, which I found very interesting. You need to protect the people inside as well, and therefore this is designed in a way in which if there is a fire on board, there are blast panels that blow out to prevent people inside, hopefully, from getting injured. What is that technology all about?
Yeah, it's called a cab-based system. Actually, anything happens in this one, only the blow-off panel in this one, and nothing comes to the crew. This one. That's why they separate this one compartment. This is stored, and it's completely protected. Crew is protected from this one.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Raju, very much for speaking to us. Well, there you have it, an idea of some of the key subsystems on board this main battle tank. All of this has been integrated. It's been ruggedized. So even in temperatures where you're pushing almost 60 degrees out in the Rajasthan desert, these systems need to work. There is no chance of it failing. If you're in battle, these things start failing, then you're in deep trouble, which is why reliability absolutely key in development of this tank. How does one make a main battle tank? Put together all of the components while planning for the future. Joining us to tell us a little bit about that, the Additional Director of Systems over here at CVRD, Mr. Rajesh Kumar. What is some of the software that you use to actually design features of this tank where everything goes in?
Yeah, we've got 3D modeling softwares which we use, and then we play the layouts, and then these layouts are then converted into manufacturing drawings, and those drawings are then handed over to the manufacturer.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. And you do this personally. I mean, when you're given specifications, you offer solutions, right?
Exactly.
And that's a process that can go on for years sometimes.
That's right.
Yeah.
In fact, we've got a very dedicated team for that. There's a team which does the layouting, and then there's a team which does the system engineering. So the complete system engineering of the tank has to be done. So here the main problem that we face, the challenge was that we have to have an existing tank. On that we are adding the features. So what happens, the weight goes up. As we had about 14 improvements, the weight goes up. The hull had to be totally redesigned. And in the process, we can't keep adding the weight, so we have to optimize it.
Right.
So that optimization was done using all the tools that we have today.
And how does this design have to be future ready? Because this is not the final design. I mean, you can change many years
Exactly. A designer is always crazy. He keeps going on upgrading. But we have drawn a benchmark somewhere in between, and we have said because of the timelines that we have to meet, and it was a very short period of about 2.5 years. So within that, whatever could be done had to be done. But we have a big lot with us, which
Right.
we would be ready when the next versions are coming up.
Right.
That is always there with the design.
And you would also be looking at the future of Indian tank warfare in terms of future learning experiences from this,
Correct.
and how to implement and to discard what you don't require.
Exactly. We are already on the job. We call it the next generation main battle tank.
Yeah.
That we have got the concepts on, and we are discussing with the contending vendors, the people who can support us. Because there are some technologies which we do not have within our country. We might have to look for people around.
Right.
We are trying to collate with them, bring those technologies inside, so that
Right.
this will become a state-of-the-art tank for the
Right.
future also.
Right. Thanks, Mr. Kumar. Thanks very much for speaking to us. So there you have it. It's also about the process of learning from old technologies, new technologies being developed, to future-proof main battle tanks, looking at what an evolving set of requirements may be. Well, two other key members of the team which have been involved in the design, development, integration of the Arjun main battle tank join us now. Rajlili Reginald is the head of vehicle electronics. Thanks, ma'am, very much for being with us. And Kavita, and the head of electrical systems, joins us as well. What has your role been, ma'am, in the Arjun Mk-1A?
I am the head of the electrical system. So for the Arjun Mk-1 Alpha, we have carried out many upgradations in the electrical system, like the power storage systems, and the starting system, generating system, and distributing system, and lighting systems. When coming to the starting systems, there is a battery. In Mk-1 we have used a imported battery. Here we are using a indigenized battery for the Mk-1 Alpha. And also there are many power distribution systems. For that also we have upgraded to the latest
technologies,
technologies, latest technologies for the power distribution systems, and for the lighting system also we have gone for the all LED versions like LED headlamps, side marker lamps, and roof lamps, all in LED versions. And for the another power storage for the turret weapon system, we have implemented the ultra capacitor module, whereas in Mark 1 we have used the normal lead acid battery. And here we have replaced with the ultra capacitors to supplement the tank sag voltage.
Right.
And then coming to the power distribution system, we have implemented the indigenized slip rings to transfer the power from the stationary hull to the rotating turret platform.
Right. So a lot of, I must confess, I don't understand a lot of this technology, but it sounds extremely impressive. But let me ask you, ma'am, what part of this tank were you working on?
We have developed a microcontroller based transmission control system, which is an improved version compared to the Mark 1 tank, and we have it controls the 1400 horsepower automatic transmission with improved diagnostics and the digital dashboard for the driver. So we have a built-in data logging feature which helps to diagnose the faults which come in the power pack which erupt in that, and also for automotive trial performance, analysis of automotive trial performance post trials, that also has been implemented. We have also implemented a laser warning and countermeasure system for the tank, like it is a passive protection system. It protects the tank against enemy threats, like laser threats fired from anti-tank guided.
And it fires off the smoke grenades instantly.
Yes, yes.
Even automatically, right?
Yes, even automatically it fires smoke grenades so that the tank can move away from the scene, thereby protecting the crew and the equipment.
And how many years of your life have you spent doing just what you described?
Actually, the Mark 2 project, Mark 2 laser warning countermeasure system and all, it's not there in the Mark 1 tank.
Right.
It has been envisaged and configured for the Mark 2 tank right from 2010.
Right.
I am here in CVID for the last 25 years.
Wow. And ma'am, this must be a great day for you. 118 tanks, the acceptance of necessity has been given by the government. And so a lot of what you have developed and designed now goes to the user very soon, in a few years. What does that make you feel?
It's making me very proud for working in this Mark 1 Alpha as a part of electrical system. So
it's a great day, isn't it?
It's a great day, sir.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank you both very much for speaking to us. There are so many contributors to the process of designing the Arjun Mark 1 Alpha. A lot of these subsystems are absolutely critical in ensuring the performance, because the performance what the Indian Army sought of this tank, very, very high, to ensure that it could actually take place and meet that benchmark has been an incredible challenge. For decades, there's often been a question which is asked, the Arjun tank is good, but is it good enough? And how does it compare with the best of the West or the best of the rest? And the answer quite clearly has been answered with this, the Arjun Mk-1A, which has features and specifications which make it a class ahead of the old Arjun tank and very much similar to the best tanks anywhere in the world. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.